Hello everyone, Hamster Sales here with another cast from the Platinum League. Gonna be a ZVT on this map, Zelnaga something or other, right? Totally forget the name of this map, that is horrible. Anyway, wanted to get some quick business out of the way before I start casting the game proper. A couple of my fellow casters who cast amateur games like myself have casted some replays. I sent them very generously, and they've done so very well. Both gentlemen much better than myself, have much better sounding accents than myself. They are Havoc2727, Havoc spelled with a K, and the Casting Panda. Both guys have panda-themed logos, much more professional than myself. They cover their replay bar with custom logos, but both have casted games I sent them, so go check them out. I've subscribed to them myself, so if you didn't, if you aren't always sitting at your computer with a pen and pencil and paper, go ahead and just click through my channel, The Modern Way, and find them, through this social network YouTube thing we got going on. Anyway, we're going to be cross positions on this map here. Can't believe I don't know the name of this map. It's been around forever. They did the change where there's no longer back rock ramps into the back of your base. One of those many Terran favoring features they actually removed, although they can still drop siege tanks on low ground here due to some nasty marine drops up here to completely abuse us poor Zergs, but it's not that big a deal. You learn to expect it. Pretty good tip, something I don't think I actually do in this game, is to take out these back rocks with your Zerglings. It gives you access to the drop, the Terran might not be expecting that. They might not even look for it when they do their drop, so you'll have that access to take out the low ground siege tanks. It's always handy defensive thing, and you always want to be active with your Zerglings, so that's something you could be doing with them. Say if you overreact to an early bunker rush or something. Send those lings out instead to kill these rocks. It's a good use of time. Gookie, my opponent, my Terran opponent, hopefully he just picked his name as Gookie because it sounds funny and not because of the racial slur it sounds like. But my opponent Gookie here has 2 Raxes, which we all know what that means, Marines and bunkers up in your base. I don't know if that's a complete wall off with these bunkers, buddy. No, it's not. I'm going to be able to surround this, so expect to be able to take this out pretty quickly. Hopefully that's something I can do. Yeah, he's not even trying to build them anymore. But just going to go ahead and straight cancel. Not even going to make me waste hits on that one bunker. Not completely running away with this Marine, though. He wants to get some shots in, and that could spell death for him. Probably get some more hits in on my Zergling. Oh, he's got these other couple Marines out, so my Zergling's actually overextending themselves. Gookie can be able to shoot them in the face. Does not lose an SCV or a Marine. Good on Gookie for that. Just gooking up my Zerglings, I guess you could say. Let's bring up the production tab like all good casters do, unlike myself, and see what's going on here. I have my second hatch finally going down. He did delay that, ineffective as his bunker rush was. It did do something good in the sense that it stalled my second hatchery that I so desperately need to be effective. I'm going to be finally sending some Zerglings out to get some watchtower vision. I think I was just checking. I think at this point I thought he might be hanging out with Marines still, so the fact they pushed forward with those 3 Marines kind of had me worried. I actually had no idea how many there were. I think they were shooting from behind these trees because the SCV was giving them vision, so I didn't know if there was like 12 Marines just hanging out, so I wanted to check those towers first. I don't have too many Zerglings. I currently have 6 and 18 drones. Up to workers on my opponent already, which is pretty good. Zerg known for getting the worker advantage at some point in the game. This is actually pretty fast to have the advantage, so I'm doing pretty well in that regard. Gookie has moved the 2 barracks he was originally using to block his ramp here down to his second ramp, and using a 3rd barracks to block this wide ramp. Very effective. Very good for preventing what I've been doing against a lot of Terrans, which is punishing them for blocking with a supply depot by Baneling busting them. He's going to be pushing out though with these Marines. Looks like he's got 11 Marines. Moving out across the map. If you want to learn how to count units just by selecting them, each row is 8 units, so I saw 8 plus 3. I was able to add those 2 numbers together and come up with 11. Gookie going to be running around the map, really wants to kill my Speedling, but these Marines are fat and hampered by armor. They will not be able to catch him. My Zergling has wings, which propel him across the ground I guess he just gets little jumps and then... How did they do it? Yeah, it looks like he's kind of jumping and using those wings to kind of propel himself forward. I always kind of wondered about how wings made a ground unit faster, but I guess we now know they like to get little hops off the ground and float through the air so effectively, so fast, those speedlings. So it's about the 7:30-minute mark, 7-minute 30 seconds mark in the game, so I should be preparing for all types of cheese. You know, blue flame hellions could have already come. I'm actually woefully unprepared for that. No spines to deal with that, and I don't have spores in my base. So you can do one of two things. You can scout your opponent like a smart person, which I have not done. I have no overlords set up to scout him right now. Or you can just blind prepare for all the different type of cheese that you know exists. I do have this evolution chamber, but I'm electing not to set up spore crawlers. I guess I have seen some marines, so that's kind of a sign he's not going banshees. I've got 4 idle drones here. That's never good. I'm sure I'll notice this at some point, right? Yeah, see, you got idle workers, buddy. Idle workers, hamster. Let's take a closer look at my Terran opponent. That's something I lament throughout my cast, that I don't take a close enough look at my Terran opponents. Yeah, he's moving out with a ton of Marines. So it looks like he's got 16. He's got 27 Marines? Something like that? No. 20, I just bragged about being able to count. He has 23 Marines, so that's pretty good. Is that right? No, 20, yeah, 20, let's call it 22 Marines. 22 Marines, yes. He is moving out with 22 Marines. Is he going to push in with this? I think I'm well prepared yet. I have Banelings at this point. I've got 5 Banelings. Number of Banelings isn't really as important as it is to surround the Marines with your Zerglings first, and then the Banelings will have a perfect avenue to get in there and explode some Marines real good. But he's not electing to move in. It looks like he had no combat shield, no upgrade. Does he have stim? No, no stim. So not the best time to push in. I'm moving my units to low ground. I'm going to wait for him to get up the ramp and kind of pin himself between some spine crawlers. But he is electing to move back to his base. Probably a wise move. Don't know why he really moved out in the first place. I kind of wish I had done a little more scouting. Maybe sent out a suicide Ling scout much earlier and seen that he was vulnerable to an attack there. But that didn't happen. He got home scot-free just now, taking the towers and sending out a scout Ling. Right now, I remember I was thinking Baneling bust, because I've been doing it so often, as I did in my last video. But, you know, I wasn't feeling it this game for some reason. Felt like he had too many Marines here. He was sure to lift these supply depots soon. Yeah, he sure does. Alright, yeah, got some units going here. Got a couple of spines for defense. So, I've got control of these towers. I've got vision. Kind of just moving into a very standard TvZ. I really should have expanded by now. I like to do it by about 10 minutes. I used to be more comfortable doing it around 12 minutes, but I haven't even saturated this naturally yet. I'm too worried about him pushing in. These kind of feints he's been doing has really lowered my drone count. I'm sitting on 43 drones to his 39, so I do have an advantage, but not nearly the advantage I'd like to have. Just now, kind of more fully saturating the minerals here. That's pretty close. I forget the ideal number, but that's pretty close to what you want for ideal saturation. So I should really think about taking this third right now. Hopefully that's something I do. I have 42 Zerglings on the field though, and 6 Banelings. I do prefer whenever possible to have a superior number of Zerglings to Banelings, because your Zerglings are going to be running behind the, speak of the devil, the Marine tank ball, and trying to get that surround so your Banelings have free access to all these Marines. And yeah, I see this coming. I'm probably gonna run back to my base, use that defender's advantage I heard Day 9 recently describe it as. If you haven't seen Day 9, don't know who he is. Just figure out yourself. I'm not gonna tell you who that guy is. He's awesome for players like myself learning the game, trying to get better. So yeah, Gookie looks like he's gonna be pushing in, sieging up all the way over here. I kind of like this, the staggered siege tank attack line defense. So his plan is obviously to poke in with his Marines and then retreat to this staggered siege line. We'll see how effective it is for him. Looks like he's running in. I've got these guys on the low ground here. I've got additional Lings on the high ground. I'm going to try to go in for a surround. Ideally, you just want to completely wipe out the Marines, because at that point, they're going to retreat their tanks. So here I go. Get a full surround on those Marines. Those guys got to be getting decimated. Going to be running in here. Yep, getting some Baneling hits. That's all she wrote for this push. Additional rallying units sure to be taken out as well, because I am no doubt producing units like a madman too. Yeah, well, 14 Lings, pretty good, and some additional Baneling hits cleaning up the rallied units, trying to support the now failed push. So my opponent actually already is prepared to take a third. This is not the best time to take a third, but you know, if I don't see it, he could definitely get away with it for free. Get some free third base action going on. He has a decent number of reinforcing troops here, so, and I pretty much took my whole force to wipe him out there. So we're kind of at a reset here. We're both taking thirds. His is going to be ahead of mine since Terrans can build their bases inside their existing bases and then fly them to new bases, which is always great. So yeah, he's going to be ahead of me here. I could be taking my fourth with all these minerals I'm floating. I think I'd do that pretty soon. And I got to be thinking about getting mutas, some kind of tech unit to deal, because he has the tech advantage. It's just tanks and marines. I would call it tech advantage over banelings. So you want to get a superior unit mix whenever possible, and I'm going to try to do that with mutas. Baneling muta against tank marine I usually have a lot of success with. It's a pretty good matchup. Baneling's obviously a pretty hard counter to marines, especially if your opponent's not the most adept at